She tries to find out what his dream is, what his vision is, what his desires are. Her goal is
to love you, baby. I'm not supposed to, they want you, but I want you, baby. Love to love you, baby. I'm not supposed to, they want you, but I want you, baby.
This is cool. So she probably has a different story. I mean, almost similar, but from my own angle. So from my own angle, how we met, on a very fateful, wonderful day.
That's the storyline.
Yeah, you know, I have to tell it like I'm, giving story. So, there was this particular day I'd just gotten back from work. I was in the kitchen trying to fix myself something to eat because I'd been waiting on God. I'd been fasting actually for like 3 weeks thereabout. So I was trying to get something to break my fast. And I heard the bell went off, and I went to answer the door, and lo and behold, I saw her and her sister at the door. Two beautiful, charming young ladies, and I was like, in my mind I was like, did these two miss road? Then they told me who they wanted to see, which was a pastor who was staying with us at the time. So I told them to come on in and I'll go get him. So on my way to get the pastor, I was, going up the steps to get him. I mean, it wasn't when I was going up the steps, it was when I was coming down the steps with the pastor, something just kind of like hit me. I actually heard a voice tell me, that is your wife. And I just heard that voice say, that is your wife, and I was like, I was talking to my sister, I told her, I'd met my wife, and she was like, you met your wife, how come? Where? From where? How is that even possible?
So let's pause, right? Before you finish your story, because I think the ending is pretty much like the same with mine. I had already known that it was going to happen soon because, like he said, we're both spiritual. So it's been time where, like, during that time, I've been really, like, working on faith because there were so many things that I needed. There were so many things that I wanted out of life, and there were so many things that I needed to do for myself. So, like he said, I've been, going through in and out of church and just focusing on God. So fast forward to that day. Now the pastor is somebody that I kept in contact with while he was in Nigeria because he came for a program a couple of years back, and we met, we exchanged numbers, we prayed together. From time to time he would check up on me. So when he said he was in town, when he called me that Wednesday, he was like, hey, I noticed you were not at this program. I was like, yeah, I'm sorry, Pastor. Unfortunately, I don't attend that church anymore. He was like, okay, well, I would like to see you before he goes back to Nigeria. I was like, okay, cool. Why don't you just send me the address of where you're staying at so that way I can either find a way to come see you. Yeah. So when he sent that address, when he sent his address, this was literally like 15 minutes away from my job. So I was like, okay, I'll go after Wednesday. I'll go after work on Wednesday, and then from there I'll go to Bible study. So I picked up my sister, we started heading out there. So when we got there, I knocked on the door, and this man came and opened the door. So, and I told him, and I said to him, and I said to him, and I was like, I'm here to see Pastor XYZ. He had this look on his face like, you're probably in the wrong house.
Hello.
So for good a minute or so, he was just there, and I'm like thinking to myself, okay, maybe we have the wrong house. So I'm scrolling through my phone and trying to figure out, okay, is this the right address or whatever? So I said it again, hey, I'm here to see Pastor XYZ. And he's like, oh yeah, Pastor da-da-da-da. I was like, yeah. So he's like, come on in. So when we got in, we sat down on the other living room. So he went off to go get the pastor. So while talking to the pastor, we were praying, talking about a few things, our spiritual journey so far. So he gave my sister and I homework, an assignment actually. He said that we should go back home and write down 10 scriptural reasons why we should get married. Because in the Bible, there's certain things as a woman that you're already supposed to possess, and marriage is one of them. And then also to write down 10 things that you want out of a man. And we're supposed to return with that assignment on Friday, the next Friday. That Friday. So I was like, okay, cool. And then another thing that he told us to write down, he said, go ahead with faith, write down your wedding date. Now, mind you, I had no boyfriend. I wasn't even thinking about dating anybody. Like, nobody was even coming my way. Nobody was checking my way. I was like, okay, cool. Let's see. What season is good for marriage, for weddings? So during that time or whatever, so after Wednesday, you know, we talked about it. So he was like, come back on Friday with a piece of paper. In my head, I already knew the wedding date that I wanted because it's always been something that I mean, having a wedding in October is so awesome. So in my head, mind you, no boyfriend, I picked October 27th, 2018 as a day that I would love to get married. And this was something that he said, we're going to put into prayers for 30 days. We're going to pray about it. If you constantly pray about it and use those scriptures to pray about it, you know, God will answer you. I was like, okay, cool. So as we're leaving, you know, Drew to me is like,
I sprung into action.
He walked us to the door. Now, he didn't know about this conversation. So when he walked us to the door, he asked for my number.
And I just go, hey, can I get your number?
And I looked at him like
she was like,
I really have to give you my number.
Here we go again.
Like, I don't like giving my numbers to strangers.
Apparently, she had so many tries. Many people have tried to get the number.
No. So I gave him my number. He puts it on his phone, and then my name pops up, and I was like, guy, like, what's up? Like,
oh my goodness. She literally was tripping when her name popped up on my phone. Like, she was like, man,
what?
Fine boy.
No.
And he has my number already.
And I was like, how do you have my number on your phone? And he goes, well, I have this app on my phone that automatically like pops up.
Yeah, I mean, everybody has the app. Like,
I don't have the app. And I use an iPhone, so you use the other iOS.
Yeah, iPhone users, I'm sorry.
Anywho, so
you're like the back ages. Android users know what I mean.
So at this point, I didn't even know he was an IT guy, so I was just kind of like, whatever. So when he was giving me his name, I was like, I want your first and last name, so that way me too, I can go home and do my research in my mind. I didn't say it out. So I got his first and last name, and I stored it on my phone. So as we were leaving, I
So wait, hold on, roll back. She got my first and last name. To go and do background check.
I have to know if you're a serial killer, like, you know, if you're married, if you have kids, something. So whatever. So as I was heading home, I told my sister, I was like, you know what? If this guy actually calls me or wants to go on a date, I would actually, you know, go on a date with him. Like, you know, like, I don't mind being in a relationship with him if it actually goes there. So I was very positive about the meeting with him.
She was feeling the boy.
Yeah, sure. So I was just kind of like, okay, you know what? Wherever this goes, at this point in time, I was willing to open that door to allow people into my life and stuff like that. So that was how that happened. And then prior to this, right, his pastor was somebody that he grew up with.
Yes.
Like,
so the pastor she came to see was, but as being my pastor from when I was like very little. So like my spiritual growth, my spiritual journey, my spiritual knowledge, and all of that has been, you know, through this pastor. But as God would have it, she was at the point where she needed to get married. I was at the point where I needed to get married, and my pastor didn't even kind of like link us up.
No.
I mean, it was just God. She came to see him, and without his knowledge,
yes,
I went after her.
Right.
But I was led to do that because
it was even afterwards we actually told him that we're dating. That was like months later when we kind of like, hey, pastor, we're kind of like dating. So he was excited, and I know one thing he said to me, he's like, your obedience was actually what got you your husband. Is if you would have just ignored my call that day,
our obedience brought me to her,
or not come to see me,
yes,
then you would have missed out on an opportunity like
this.
this.
She would have missed out of this.
But I thank God, and you know, that's how we met, and it's been a blessing, and it's just the one thing I take out of it is just more of when you are at that point when you've worked on yourself spiritually and physically. What is yours will always be yours, and when it's your time, God will find a way, God will find a place to just make it mesh up. No matter how long it's been, it would always come together.
That's some accolades. Yeah, so
I want to start it off because you sort of So the proposal, right?
Yes.
So we've been talking about getting married like for a while, you know, and we've met the parents, he's met my parents, the family they've met each other. So technically in my mind, not like technically in my mind, the plan was to, you know what, let's just do the traditional part, which is the Imbanku part of it, and just get it out of the
so
way.
she can't even pronounce her own
Chill.
Ibanku.
Baby, you're not even saying it right. With your
Okay, sorry.
accents. Imbanku. I
Okay.
just not saying it
Yeah,
right.
she said it right.
So like that was the plan, like, hey, let's just do that part, let's get that part over with, and then we can go on from there. So I wasn't really expecting a proposal or anything like that, because I knew, I mean, marriage wise is something that we've heard from God, because even that time that we were dating, we were dating, there were prayers that were involved. We prayed about certain things. We got confirmation on both ends. He got his confirmation, I got my confirmation. So it wasn't really much of like, okay, let's see and let's wait and see how it goes. It was more of like a certainty between the both of us.
Yeah.
So I think we had our traditional, the Ibanku, the traditional marriage booked for March 10th, right? So that Sunday before, so this was on a Saturday, right? So the Sunday before, right, was a normal Sunday. He went to his church and I was at my church. So before my service was over, I looked back and he was there and I was like, what's this guy doing here again or whatever? So when I saw him behind me, I was like, okay, cool. So I went to go meet him. I was like, hey babe, what's up? What are you doing here? He's like, oh, let's just go out for lunch. Knowing me, I was like, okay, cool, lunch on a Sunday, let's go. Like it was a normal thing for us. So I was talking to my sister. My sister, they also had a program. We had to go to somebody's birthday party that day. So when he said let's go to lunch, it wasn't anything out of the norm. But my sister quickly left, and I was like, why? Where is she going? She's like, oh, I have to go decorate this place for a friend's party.
Plans were in motion.
So I was like, okay, cool. So we went to Papa Ducks that was like maybe 5 minutes away from our church. We sat there, we were eating, we were laughing, we just, just a regular Sunday. This is what we do on a regular. So after we were done eating, we started heading back home, and then he was driving in front of me, and I was like driving behind him because we both had different cars. So when we got home, obviously, did I open the door or did you open the door? I think I opened the door. I think I opened the door. When I opened the door, all I saw was rose petals, like literally. We're probably gonna insert a picture here. Rose petals like on the floor, and it says, "Would you marry me?" And I fell down, like kind of like crying and just like laughing at the same time, because that, if you know me, that's a normal Nyeka thing. You cry, you laugh, you fall on the floor. That's just what I do. So not only that, I see the computer set up. So my sister, Confidence, and her sister actually like came out with my friend. So he's telling me type in www.ovo2k18.site. Literally my hands are shaking, my fingers are shaking. I can't even like type in like www, and he's like, babe, it's www, and I'm sitting there just crying with tears and like, oh my gosh, I can't believe you did this. So I typed it in. So as I typed, actually, I think you helped me. He helped me type it in because at this point I was just gone. I was out of it. I couldn't believe what was happening in front of me. So he types it in, and then on the website, I mean, it's a really, 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 really nice website, and I hope it's something that we can actually keep forever so we can show our children.
Oh yes, definitely.
This was just awesome. On the website, on the first page, it had the little rap sheets about how awesome I am.
African.
It had the rap sheet about how awesome I am, and then I clicked on it, and then the next was pictures of us. Some pictures of us that we took over the time frame that we were, dating, and it just brought back so many memories, like from Christmas to birthdays and everything in between. I was just so in awe of what was going on. And then when I clicked on the next page, it says, will you marry me? And at that point, I don't know if I gave an answer till today.
Actually, I didn't give her an option.
Yeah, he did. Actually, he goes. This is how he goes. He goes on T-Bay. Not even my full name, not even sweetie, sugar forever. Baby, you said Auntie Babe, will you marry me? And I was
that was what I said.
Yeah.
With my mouth. But
I'm
on the
saying
website,
on the website it has my name. But I'm saying, because when I clicked yes on the website, there was no option. Because everything was yes, no.
No, it was yes,
no.
Yes.
Phone call.
Phone call. What are you waiting for?
Exactly. So I clicked on the phone phone call, which was, the whole grand finale.
Yeah.
So when he got down on his knees, granted at this point I was already on my knees, he was already on his one knee or whatever. So he goes, Auntie Babe, he pulls out the ring and goes, will you marry me?
Yeah.
And I just kind of fell on him.
Ain't that cool?
I fell on him and I was just like crying, and my friends and my sister were just taking pictures, and it was just it was just so awesome and just so creative. Like, I never really thought that, even at that time that we were planning our engagement, a traditional engagement, that he was gonna be proposing, because that was not in our plans. But as God would have it, he proposed. I said yes. I cried on top of the roses. It actually took me like almost a week plus to actually clean out the core, because the roses were so pretty. Like, it had candles all over, like drip. It took me a whole week. So everybody, when my sister was going to work and she stepped on it, I got so mad. And
prior to this, she kept wondering, is this guy going to have a proposal?
Yeah, because I was like, I did say to him at one point in time, I was like,
we're talking
I know we're
about
getting married, but I need a ring.
But you're not proposing, bro. What are you doing? I had something up my sleeve.
Yeah, I was like, I need a ring. Granted, like, we're getting married. Granted, like, we already talked it out. But a girl needs a ring. So from time to time, I'm like, babe, are you gonna propose before the traditional marriage? He's like, no, don't worry about it. Like, we already said, let's just do it later on. I was like, okay, cool. So when he proposed that day, my mind was already set up not to even think about it. And I was just like, okay, cool. I just went to get married. So, and then he put a ring on it because he couldn't resist.
Yes.